Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 987, Vassals of Glory. Now, this was such a good chapter. The title pretty much tells you exactly how it starts off. So let's get straight into it. So, this first scene I've named Flashbacks of Odin, as always, very creatively. And the chapter starts exactly where we left off, like I said, with the scabbards all midair and their swords pressed against Kaido's thick-ass skin, but not really puncturing him. And while this is happening, Kaido's having flashbacks about Odin, thinking back on how Odin damaged him and told him not to underestimate his samurai, talking about the Akazaya 9. And Kaido then learns how true those statements were as Kinemon's sword first punctures his skin and Kikunojo stabs him straight through the hand. And I was like, what? I'm not gonna lie, I shit my pants throughout the whole interaction, throughout this whole first scene. I'm so happy and so grateful that the scabbards are getting to show exactly how powerful they are. And they haven't just been laughed at and kind of treated as peons. They're actually key to the story. They're powerful individuals and they're being given that freedom. So I really like the fact that Oda didn't just one-shot them. And they all look so badass as well. Raizo with his twin swords trying to lop off Kaido's head in kind of like a pincer fashion. Nekomamushi holding on to Kaido's arm. It was such an amazing scene. I really thought it was a really cool scene. And this actual next part was really cool as well, where Kaido's wound from Odin starts to throb. It starts to hurt, almost as if reminding him of the will that's being preserved in the Akazaya 9. I thought that was really interesting. Now, what was surprising to me, and probably to a lot of people, I think, was that the scabbards actually properly damaged Kaido, with Kaido exclaiming, "Do they use his Ryuo too?" The Ryuo meaning haki. So that's what the samurai, that's what the people in Wano call. Not even advanced haki. That's just what they call Busoshoku no haki, color of arms or armament haki. There's so many different names for it, but I think the people in Wano basically just call it Ryuo rather than Busoshoku no haki. Now, I'm not sure what type of haki Odin used to damage Kaido. Obviously, it was a higher form. Maybe I'm not too actually take off the obviously there. It was a form of Busoshoku, but I'm not sure which one it was. Was it base Busoshoku at like a really high level? Was it the emission Busoshoku, which that would have allowed Odin to damage Kaido without making direct contact due to the flow of his haki outside of his body? So people who've used that are Sentomaru. We've seen Luffy use it as well. Or was it more internal destruction haki? This is a higher form of emission, which is a higher form of Busoshoku no haki, but this allows you to destroy the target from the inside out. Now, it could be either of those two, or like I said before, it could just simply be that he had a very strong Busoshoku no haki, which his samurai also possessed. But I'm not sure exactly which one he's talking about. He says Ryuo, which suggests just base Busoshoku no haki, but it could have been the fact that Luffy learnt the emission and the internal destruction forms of haki to deal damage to Kaido. I really feel like the samurai, the Akazaya 9, also used one of those forms of haki, possibly the emission type of haki, or maybe even internal destruction, and that's what damaged him. That's what allowed them to puncture him. But the fact that they're able to use that, I would, if they are using that, I really would have liked to have seen it in Dressrosa as well. I mean, like, Kinemon is one of the highest levels of these groups of samurai, or this group of samurai at the very least. So I would have liked to have seen him put in a lot more effort if he was able to use something like that earlier. Either way, for the first time since those 20 years ago, or what would be a few months for probably Kanjuro, who's not there. Whoops, wrong guy. Kinemon, for Momonosuke, for Raizo, I think. Was he also thrown into the future? I think he was. But for the few that were actually pushed into the future, it's been basically a few months, I think. And we see a panicked Kaido scream in shock and pain as he crashes down to earth with the enraged scabbards. Awesome scene. So we then get a few different reactions to this attack. I didn't really name this one. It was just kind of reactions to Kaido's falling. But Kaido's crew pick up arms, ready to attack their invaders. Hyogoro, the flower, and the other samurai finally show themselves standing against Kaido's crew to protect the Akazaya 9. We see Big Mom, she's loving the spectacle of it all. She's just like, yeah, this is awesome. Is Kaido dead? And she's just chilling, watching her new partner in crime getting stabbed. I'm like, you might want to help a guy out. I understand he's Kaido. She probably understands more than anybody how powerful he is. But he just got stabbed, man. Like, go help a brother out. Ulti then rolls up and attacks Yamato with a mace. This seems to be a possible matchup for the coming chapters. I would be surprised if it wasn't. Yamato reveals her defecting to the side of the Akazaya 9 here. Ulti has no idea what the heck Yamato's talking about, but she's ready for a fight. She's like, I ain't gonna know shits about that. You're talking crazy, but I'm here to kick your ass because of what you did to me. And she has a mace, so I'm wondering is that a weapon she usually uses? Is it just something she picked up along the way? It might be the latter, I think, but I'm not sure. But the part where Yamato was like, let my father die, I was like, that's pretty cold. That's pretty badass. Big Mom then catches up to Luffy, telling him she came all the way here to kill him. And this, I have to admit, I was disappointed by this part in particular. I'm not sure if other people picked up on this. It's not something I picked up just because I reviewed. It's just something I personally didn't like. For a Yonko, I was hoping Big Mom wouldn't have to run up like a gag character and kind of announce her fight with Luffy. Like, she literally ran up to Luffy and like, I've been chasing you all along. It's my time to kill you. And I was like, really, Big Mom? That's how you're gonna deal with Luffy? If Big Mom was the Big Mom that we know and the Big Mom that she should be, it would have been more on sight. The beef would have been more on sight. She would have seen Luffy from a distance and straight lunged at him for the attack, forcing Luffy into evasive maneuvers or whatever, protecting himself or attacking back. And I'm a little disappointed by the fact that this part of their interaction, she rolled up to him and announced herself first, rather than taking Luffy blindside like the evil pirate she is. That's what I expect, but we didn't get that. And I'm not like a whole bunch of people were disappointed with Big Mom from Whole Cake Island. I'm not too sure exactly where I sit there. I think I need to reread it, but I don't like the fact that Big Mom just rolled up and announced herself here rather than just going straight in for the attack. She does not like Luffy. She wants to kill Luffy. It's supposed to be on sight, but for some reason she goes and shakes hands with him first. Let's have a cup of tea. You want some crumpets with that shit? I was like, come on, man. So then the next scene, Scabbards versus Kaido. We then go back to the Scabbards and Kaido, with Kaido resting on one knee as he puts pressure on his new chest wound. He talks about how Orochi's warnings came true, how all the events since Punk Hazard through to Dressrosa and Zou, he blamed all of those things on Luffy and the Akazaya, on Luffy, but not on the Akazaya 9, because Luffy hid the Akazaya 9 beneath his own his actions. He hid them from sight. And he says all of this really just to tell the Scabbards, you have a lot of faith in Luffy, but you're just going to be betrayed by Luffy. Kinemon is there just like, nah, you're chatting shit, mate. And I really love this part. He's just like, nah, Kinemon, he's having none of this bullshit. He straight tells Kaido to his face. Basically, if this was an English story, he'd be telling him straight to his face. He'd be like, fam, you chatting bare shit about my boy. Bring all your boys and face him. Watch him still fight you by his ones. And I was like, oh, Kinemon has, bro, for real. His faith in Luffy is as refreshing as always, and the other Scabbards, I think, will take note of this too. I think it's rubbing off on them, if it's not already occurred. I really, really enjoy Kinemon's faith in Luffy here. The next scene is called Performance Floor. So back at the performance floor, Luffy proclaims that he's here to kick the crap out of everybody. Big Mom laughs at this, thinking it's stupid. Luffy only has a couple hundred men. What can he really do, right? Queen does the exact same thing. He's laughing at it like, he's only got a couple hundred men. Until one of his men radios in that there are thousands invading Onigashima as they speak, with some really, really notable pirates like Law. He doesn't actually mention Kid by name, but that should have been like, hey, like, he's there too. What we see is that Kid and Zoro actually have somehow met up with different groups of samurai, so they're no doubt going to kick up a fuss wherever they are. Chances are they'll run into some sort of one of the Flying Six, the Tobiropo. Now, the other announcement was that Mako and Perospero have rolled up to the entrance of Onigashima, but they're not at each other's throats. They seem to be working in tandem. So this suggests they've struck a deal, which sounds very dangerous at the very least for the Beast Pirates. All Perospero wants is for the Big Mom Pirates to regain their reputation, to be the most feared pirates on the seas. One way of doing that would be to totally decimate Kaido's crew, betraying him after having told him, yeah, we're in an alliance, bro, don't worry, it's all good. Now, obviously, Perospero probably has ulterior motives, maybe killing Luffy, but that's kind of secondary, and that's also what Mako is there for. Mako's gonna be like, yeah, we have this deal, but I understand how pirates work, and there's always treachery in these kinds of things, which Kaido once again mentions in this chapter, which once again makes me think of, is there going to be some other form of treachery that occurs? Having heard Luffy's declaration, Kaido assumes his dragon form, flies through the ceiling of Onigashima in good spirits now that Luffy's kind of motivated him as well. The Scabbards all cling to him and they follow Kaido while Luffy promises to catch up to them later. Now what that means is Luffy will catch up to them once they've all been defeated. However, Kaido is not going to have an easy time of it. I would be so annoyed if Kaido had a really, really easy time. They go to the roof of Onigashima, let me explain, where a full moon is just chilling in the sky. Pretty much every One Piece fan has been waiting for this moment, but it was made more epic by the number of minks we see. So Nekomamushi tells Kaido how they anticipated they'd have to fight outside, so they brought along as many mink warriors as they could from Zou. We catch a glimpse of them looking like they're about to star in a remake of Smooth Criminal. Like legit, they all look like they're about to break it down. Nekomamushi puts on a Cheshire grin as the minks prepare to go Sulong against Kaido. Now this is so crazy. We have to remember how powerful these mofos are. Neko and Inuarashi were clapping the heck out of Jack when he was on Zou. These mans weren't even trying. They weren't even being tested. Now they're about to transform into their strongest forms against Kaido at the same time as the other minks, basically. And we have people like Shishilian there, people like Beppo. He's not actually there, but people like Shishilian and all the other guys, the Musketeers, they're all there. So I know Kaido isn't going to lose. That's just not how Shonen works. But I'd be surprised if he doesn't go through some of the most difficult moments of his life in these coming chapters. The minks are ready to rain on his parade, and they're going to look fly as heck while they're doing it. So let me know what you guys thought of this review. Let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.